Today, I tested 3 different destructive methods in Minecraft, progressively getting stronger each time. Starting off, I decided to grief this village by beginning to build several staircases into the sky. This method is known as a lava cast, and it creates these huge, ugly cobblestone structures, almost like mountains. The next step is to place lava on the end of each of these staircases. After waiting for it to flow to the ground, we douse it in water to make the final structures. This method isn't even very damaging to the surrounding terrain, compared to the more destructive methods I'll test later. And finally, our lava casts are completed. This guy's still alive? This house is completely destroyed. I think the fires also just destroyed everything too. Even though they decimated the village, I had an even better idea for the next area. I chose a flat area and hollowed out a room just below the surface of the ground. I made sure to clean up some excess water and also lit it up with torches. Next, I went back to the surface to build a test design. I had tested this method a couple of years ago on a single player world, but couldn't remember exactly how it worked. After a couple of experiments, I felt confident enough to proceed with the larger scale design. I started by placing dozens of activator rails that were spread throughout the room. Once my grid of rails was finished, I moved on to the main part of this trap, TNT minecarts. You see, these minecarts have a stronger explosion than regular TNT. Hundreds of them can also be stacked on each rail, giving the potential for a very deadly trap. However, bumping into them even slightly causes them to ignite. I knew that if I were to even set one off, the entire room would explode in a chain reaction, making me have to restart entirely. I carefully placed 12 minecarts on each rail, using an auto clicker to do so once my hands got tired. I also remained on edge, careful not to set off any of the minecarts. After a while, I noticed that my sound wasn't working. After flying away from the trap, it worked just fine. There were so many minecarts here that my audio simply stopped working. So my sound is back over here. I knew that the more minecarts there were, the bigger the explosion would be, so I continued placing them. In almost no time, the trap was complete. After rigging it with a line of redstone, I prepared for detonation. If my math was correct, there were 1,500 minecarts primed and ready to explode at my fingertips. 3, 2, 1. Could you imagine that explosion being 10, 20, or even 50 times stronger? Well, I'm planning to explode 100 TNT for every subscriber that this video gets. If you've enjoyed the video so far, it'd really help me out, and you'd also get to see when I upload the final explosion. Guys, please don't make me regret this. Afterwards, I set out in search for another village for the third and final destructive method. While exploring for the new village, I found something completely unexpected. What is this? It's in the middle of this island. And only a couple of seconds later, yes, another village. How did I not see this before? My third and final method is withers. These mobs are extremely destructive and deadly, and with enough of them, this village didn't stand a chance. That's why I decided to give the withers a challenge. Iron golems. With strength in numbers, how many iron golems would it take to defeat the withers? Now that all the withers and iron golems were set, all I had to do was unfreeze the game. I don't know how much of a chance the iron golems have. They do severely outnumber the withers. Start this in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my god. The iron golems aren't even fighting. The village was immediately leveled, but the iron golems were unable to fight the withers who were floating above and picking them off one by one. They have no chance. They're just getting destroyed. So I had another idea up my sleeve. Time for the auto clicker of iron golems to come in. There's actually just so many of them. The iron golems can't do anything. The auto clicker didn't seem to work very well, as the withers began to clump into 2 large groups and the golems still couldn't reach them. So I started spawning more golems on a stair block in the sky, which was way more efficient. Although still useless, many golems on the side of the cliff were starting to fight back. These golems are actually fighting back. Some of the withers are actually taking damage in here. This one's about to die. That's when I noticed a large group of golems that fell into the cave below. How many are down here? So I decided to teleport all of them into one location. Ready? This was about to be a huge mistake, as I forgot about entity cramming. Oh, entity cramming. What did I do? After spawning even more golems, it was useless. Even though a wither would die every now and again, it was nothing compared to the hundreds that remained. With the withers cemented as the most destructive method in Minecraft, I decided to have a little bit of fun by teleporting everything together once again. What? I also decided to test one more thing. How fast would it take out a single iron golem? Oh my gosh. It's just a column of withers. Yeah, it stood no chance against the column of withers. Consider subscribing, and thanks for watching.